channel. As always, this is your host, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys today. I know it seems a little different and a little fancy or whatever, but like if you guys follow the channel, I always told you guys that, we're going to continue to get better, right? So today I have a very, very special guest for you guys, but I don't have a lot of time. I definitely know you guys don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to jump straight into it. So today we brought in Clyde Anderson. Clyde Anderson, and you've probably seen him around the world from CNN to, he has his own book, publishing companies, serial entrepreneur, all of the great stuff. But I'll let him introduce himself. So, Clyde Anderson, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good,
That's
good. Today, I wanted to touch a base on you, right? I'm not a real estate agent.
Yeah.
So I know here on the Investors Channel, we've done a lot of stuff as far as we've brought, we talked about stocks, mutual funds, ETFs, all the good stuff, but it's such a huge world. It's such a huge world outside of just, those things.
Right.
We have things as far as real estate,
right?
Real estate being one of the keys. So, as these guys can see in the description box,
yeah.
How can they get started in real estate?
You know what? Real estate is one of those things I think is a great investment. A lot of people forget about sometimes, but they're not making any more land. That's what I always tell people. So it's a great investment, and we see it's cyclical. It's up and it's down, but it's something that you can get and hold on to a lot of times. And I always advise and tell people that they need to look at adding some real estate in their portfolio, whether you want to be a landlord or you want to buy and sell. There's different ways to get into it. And so I was a mortgage lender for about 12 years before I began speaking and writing and starting some other businesses. And I always like the idea of people can get in at any different level. If you're a first-time home buyer, there's several ways that you can get in as well. FHA is a great program to use, but FHA also offers you an opportunity to buy a duplex or quadruplex or triplex and rent the other units out and live in a primary unit. And I think that's the easy way to kind of get into actually being an investor and staying there for a little while and then moving on.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
So I know some people, like you said, you made a great point, adding it to your portfolio.
Yeah.
So the investing goes beyond just stocks, bonds,
Right.
mutual funds, and stuff like that.
Right.
And one of the key facts that you hit on, that it's tangible.
Yeah.
The market right now, we know it can fluctuate, it can go up, down, sideways, or whatever.
Right.
But real estate, if things get bad, like in 2008,
Right.
you can go live in your house if you had to.
Exactly.
Versus like, this is a portfolio, so I wanted to open that up. So if, let's say if you're that person that always kind of knew about it, they always thought about it, where do I get, where's my first steps? What steps should I take to actually be able to get into it?
I think the first way to start is always being around experts, or being around people that specialize in it. So whether that's a real estate agent, going talking to mortgage lenders, or finding other investors. There's a lot of investor groups and clubs out there in different cities that you can go to and just really soak up the knowledge. Hear what people are doing, follow them, shadow them. Talk to some of the investors, because there's a lot of inventory out there. And so right around your neighborhood, see what's available, especially with a lot of foreclosures. Get familiar with real estate. Read as much as you can. There's so many blogs and information out there, and there's good books out there to just kind of educate you on what is real estate, how does it work, how do you buy it, how do you sell it. And then as you talk to more people, you'll see different people have different strategies. Whether that's a no money down strategy we hear a lot about, getting involved in real estate with no money down. Well, there's great ways to do that too. One thing that we call, as you're an investor, is called bird dogging, where you can be the middleman on a deal. A lot of investors don't have time to go out and ride around the community and look for the deals, and so they need somebody to go out there and do it for them. That's a great way to learn. Just go see what inventory is out there, what's available. Take that inventory back to them, and you can sometimes get paid on doing that, but that could be your gateway into real estate.
Oh, bird dogging.
Yeah, bird dogging.
Learn something new today. Bird dogging. So that's a good way to get into it, where you can just broker.
Yeah.
Now, is there how much money would I need to, get into it? How much do I need to put money aside? Can I just go with $100? Or how much money do I need?
And it depends on the level. If you're buying a primary residence, or like we talked about the duplex and the triplex, you want to have usually about 3 months of rent payments or mortgage payments set aside to make sure that you can sustain it. And if you're bird dogging, you really don't need anything but gas money to really go around and look and knowledge of the community and around the area. If you're trying to buy, just be an investor and buy, there's different ways to go about that as well. And this depends on the area. Some people say, I want to be in the first-time buyer market, really want to get that starter home for people. Or, I know people that do investing with 300 plus homes, 300,000 plus. So it just really depends on the level of where you want to be. But there's ways to get in with little money. There's ways sometimes they're going to require you to put 20% down as an investor. So a lot of investors try to skirt that if they can, either partner with other people, try to leverage what they already have and what they bring to the table. I know some investors that just do the work on the property and they partner with a money person that actually provides the financing, because the money person doesn't have time to go in and do the work. And so it's just a matter of coming up with a good strategy. There's so many ways, and so I hear so many people that count it out because they feel like they don't have a lot of money. It doesn't always take a lot of money. It just takes a little creativity sometimes, and just to be able to say, okay, well, who can I partner with, who's moving, who's doing it. And the thing about it, most people that are in that space, they need help sometimes. And a lot of times we always go into a situation to try to take instead of give. So figure out what you can give, what can you add to them, what can you help them with. It's hard for someone to say, hey, I can't help you if you're coming in to help them.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you made a very key point. I said, you're right. A lot of times, some people come in, they say, what can I take out of the situation instead of how can I add value to your situation? Then you're more receptive to having people around.
There it is.
When they can say, okay, we can piggyback off each other,
Right.
versus just you coming in and take.
Exactly.
That kind of makes the situation a little strenuous to have you around.
Yeah.
So
and if you're busy, you don't want that. You're a busy man. So if somebody came and said they're going to help you, you're going to take that help. It's almost like stocks. I want a stock that's going to pay me dividends. I want a stock that's going to pay. So if I'm investing in you by giving you knowledge, I want to make sure there's some fruit coming from that as well.
Okay. So you would say, hey, find ways you can bring up, value.
Yeah.
Like the bird dogging
Yeah.
concept. I kind of
Yes.
like that concept of saying, hey, maybe I'm in school. I
Yeah.
love real estate. I want to get into it.
Right.
I really don't have the money.
Right.
But let's say if I can partner with a firm.
Right.
Maybe you can just find firms
Yeah.
that are, call them, whether you're your phone or whatnot.
Yeah.
You can find firms as far as looking up a phone book. We have the internet. You can Google.
Look on Google it.
And just
investor clubs. And there's a lot of different investing clubs. Each city has several investor clubs where they share knowledge, they give information, they teach classes, and you're going to be in the space with all those people. And so now it's up to you just to figure out, who do I want to partner with? Who do I want to help out? And so now you go and offer your services and say, hey, I'll look for properties for you. A lot of times they're going to share everything, with you. When I first started speaking and going around the country, I was selling books at different churches for other people. I would sit at the table, I would take the money, I would sell them, but I learned the process. And so we learn the process sometimes by doing. And after I finished doing that, the speakers would generally take me out to dinner and tell me everything they knew. So it's a matter of depositing before we withdraw. And it's the law of reciprocity. When you take care of somebody else, the odds are they're going to take care of you.
That's very true. So find ways you can bring value to a real estate agent. Find a real estate agent, cold call them if you need to, or email them. Because I will tell you guys, myself, you guys probably see me over the years of going at this, and a lot of it just dealt with cold calls, just making that crazy call that you think is crazy, or that email, or just maybe find that person that may want to partner with you to say, hey, I do have some properties, like you said.
Right.
You can bring some properties to the table and say, hey, I'm seeking this or whatever.
Right.
And I would say, one of the big things is get educated. Have the education, have the credentials. I know some people say, I don't need school, I don't need this, I don't need that. Have the education because it shows that you're serious.
Yeah, exactly.
He's serious about this because he took the time and, to learn it. Now, it's not just I woke up one day, this sounds cool, let me see, can I make it work for myself?
Exactly.
And, I've seen people that approach me that way, and it's like, well, when the times get rough, because I know rough times are coming, will these people, they're going to be here? Are they going to take it serious?
Right.
Are they going to be the ones that's going to push past this?
Right.
So I know school pushes that. So, all right. So pretty much bird dogging, you said, is a good way to get in, finding ways to leverage yourself, finding a way to leverage yourself, and also finding ways to link in networking.
Yeah, network. Be around other hot coals. A hot coal stays on fire when it's around other hot coals. Once it gets in a corner by itself, it dies out.
It does, exactly.
So you want to stay in that mix. If this is what you want to do, surround yourself with the people that are already doing it. That's a great way to succeed. You increase your odds, because I'm not just over here by myself trying to figure it out. Like you mentioned, knowledge is key. So as much as they can soak up, and the internet's a great tool, sometimes we don't use it for what it has available to go out there and figure out what people are doing, watch videos, read as much as you can. And so when I'm talking to somebody that's in the real estate market, I seem knowledgeable. And so now they want to have a conversation with me, because it's not so much that they have to drain to teach and pour out everything they have, but they feel like they can have an intelligent exchange with me now because I know a little something.
That's great. That's great. That's a lot of knowledge you dropped in this video as far as helping people get started. So as always, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, comment button. If you guys got any questions, you know, you just drop them below in the comment or email me. And what's ways to get in contact with you, Clyde?
They can reach me on my website at Clyde Anderson Online, or you can hit me on social media at Clyde Anderson or Chief Thinker on Instagram.
Instagram. Okay, so you guys have his contact information. Those are ways to get in contact with him. Till the next video, you guys already know what to do. Peace, be safe, I'm out.
Yeah.